Israel has identified the remains of the second-to-last hostage, still believed to be held inside the Gaza Strip. The announcement came after the body was transferred through the International Committee of the Red Cross and moved into Israel for verification. Officials confirm that the identification process has been completed and the family of the victim has been formally informed of the findings. This development marks another step in a long and difficult effort to recover the bodies of those abducted on the 7th of October 2023 and taken into Gaza as hostilities escalated. Authorities state that the victim was a Thai national, 43-year-old Sudthisak Rinthalak, who worked in Israel's agricultural sector at the time of the attack. He was one of many foreign workers operating in farming communities near the Gaza border, several of which were targeted during the events of October 7. Israeli officials say he was murdered on the same day and taken into Gaza by members of the Islamic Jihad group. For more than 2 years, his remains were kept inside the enclave and were only returned as part of a recent agreement facilitated by mediators and the Red Cross. The Israeli army's announcement included the statement that after completing the identification process, representatives of the Israeli army and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs informed the family that his body had been repatriated for burial. The body was transferred on December 3 inches Beit Lahia in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. Footage from that location shows masked gunmen standing near Red Cross staff as the handover process was underway. The armed individuals remained in close proximity to a truck carrying a covered body, while representatives of the Red Cross engaged in discussion and prepared documentation. In the available images, the body is seen covered in white cloth, lying on the bed of the truck. Masked gunmen maintain control of the immediate area as the Red Cross staff proceed with the necessary administrative steps. A sequence of scenes shows Red Cross personnel interacting with the masked gunmen, verifying paperwork, stamping documents, and later signing final transfer forms. The footage captures several moments of the body being carried, lifted carefully off the truck, and then handed over formally. Red Cross vehicles are later seen departing the area, marking the conclusion of their role in the physical transfer.
The process, as recorded, reflects the procedural format required for all repatriations conducted under the current truce agreement.
This repatriation forms part of a broader arrangement negotiated as part of the ceasefire reached in October. The truce ended more than 2 years of war in Gaza, a conflict triggered by Hamas's unprecedented attack on Israel on the 7th of October 2023. During that attack, militants breached Israeli border communities, killed civilians, and abducted numerous hostages. Among those taken were Israeli nationals, foreign residents, temporary workers, and laborers, including dozens of Thai citizens employed primarily in agriculture. The October truce included provisions on hostages who remained alive at the time, as well as the return of bodies of those killed on October 7. Under the ceasefire terms, Hamas agreed to free the surviving hostages and to return the remains of those who died and were taken into Gaza. Israel says that, as of this week, militants have returned 27 of the 28 bodies they committed to handing over. The only body still unreturned belongs to an Israeli citizen. Officials state that discussions related to that final case are ongoing. Thai citizens represented one of the largest foreign victim groups during the October 7 attack. Many had been working in southern Israeli agricultural sites located close to the Gaza border, areas that were among the first to come under assault. The deaths and kidnappings of Thai nationals prompted several rounds of communication between Israel, Thailand, and international organizations. Throughout the conflict, their cases remain central to diplomatic efforts aimed at securing information on the fate of all foreign workers impacted by the attack. Forensic teams in Israel carry out the identification procedures once remains are transferred across the border. These steps include confirming identity through established protocols, after which the relevant state authorities inform next of kin. In this case, the body of Sudthisak Rinthalak has now been repatriated for burial following the completion of these examinations. Israeli officials say all procedures were conducted according to standard guidelines. The scenes from Beit Lahia give visual insight into how these transfers are handled. The presence of masked gunmen overseeing the covered body demonstrates the control exerted by armed groups inside the area. Red Cross delegates perform their duties while coordinating directly with the individuals present at the site. Close-up shots show the masked gunmen standing around the area as the Red Cross representatives proceed with their paperwork. The handover then transitions through several stages: presentation of the body, documentation of receipt, stamping of forms, signature verification, and the eventual movement of Red Cross vehicles away from the location. International Committee of the Red Cross procedures require that all transfers follow strict humanitarian guidelines. Their staff members must verify the identity of those involved in the handover process, ensure the documentation is accurate, and confirm that the body received matches the conditions stated in the agreement. Once these verification steps are complete, the Red Cross escorts the body out of the area for passage into Israel. The scenes of vehicles pulling away reflect this final logistical movement. Israel has emphasized that the return of bodies under the truce agreement remains a priority. Officials note that identifying each victim is essential for providing closure to families and for fulfilling the terms negotiated during the ceasefire discussions. The October agreement also included the release of the final 20 surviving hostages taken on October 7, a process carried out in coordination with international mediators. All surviving hostages abducted that day have now been returned to Israel. The body repatriated this week marks another step in the ongoing effort to account for every individual taken during the initial attack. Israel maintains that it continues to seek the return of the final body still held in Gaza. Officials say diplomatic channels remain active in attempts to secure that transfer. The broader context surrounding these developments is anchored in the multi-year conflict that unfolded after the events of the 7th of October 2023. Following the attack, Israel launched a sustained military campaign targeting areas across Gaza. Over time, the conflict expanded, drawing international concern and prompting repeated calls for mediation. Negotiations eventually resulted in a truce agreement in October of this year, bringing a halt to more than 2 years of hostilities. Among the terms of the agreement were provisions for the exchange of hostages and the repatriation of bodies. Throughout this period, the Red Cross has played an essential role in facilitating communication between parties, verifying conditions on the ground, and handling the sensitive task of transferring bodies. Their involvement is consistent with long-standing international procedures for humanitarian operations in conflict zones. In each case, representatives of the organization handle documentation, confirm custody transfers, and oversee movement across borders. The case of Sudthisak Rinthalak illustrates the complexity of these operations. His body remained inside Gaza for more than 2 years, held by the Islamic Jihad group. Only through the recent ceasefire and the cooperation of multiple parties was it possible to secure his return. Israeli authorities say his family has been formally notified and informed that his remains have been repatriated. Thai nationals killed on October 7 were among the earliest international victims identified in the aftermath of the attack. Their cases prompted immediate outreach from the Thai government, which sought information, identification updates, and repatriation for those who died. Coordination between Israel and Thailand has intensified over the past 2 years to address these concerns. The return of Rinthalak's body is among the most recent outcomes of that process. The footage presented from Beit Lahia also underscores the controlled and structured nature of the handover. Images show Red Cross personnel stamping papers, signing documents, and entering final confirmation marks required for body transfers. This documentation is essential for the official chain of custody, ensuring that each step adheres to humanitarian and legal standards. The presence of masked gunmen throughout the scene is consistent with previous exchanges in Gaza, where armed groups typically oversee the return of bodies or the release of hostages. Israel's statement accompanying the identification emphasizes that the body has now been returned for burial and that all procedural requirements have been addressed. The announcement also reaffirms that only one body remains outstanding under the terms of the October agreement. That remaining case involves an Israeli citizen whose body has yet to be released by Hamas or allied militant groups. As part of the broader ceasefire arrangements, both sides agreed to allow humanitarian agencies to assist with movements across border areas. This has included the movement of hostages, bodies, and aid supplies. The return of bodies forms one of the central components of the truce and remains a focal point for both Israeli authorities and the families of victims. Over the past several months, Israel has reported each transfer as bodies have been returned. The identification of Rinthalak's remains follows this pattern of public updates. Each announcement includes confirmation of the identification process, verification by relevant authorities, and notification of family members. These updates are consistent with standard protocols for handling victims of conflict. The events recorded in Beit Lahia reflect one such transfer carried out under the supervision of armed groups and humanitarian staff. The footage captures the presence of masked gunmen, the covered body placed on a truck, and the methodical steps taken by the International Committee of the Red Cross to verify the handover. These moments illustrate the operational reality faced by humanitarian teams working in conflict zones, where conditions require strict procedural adherence to ensure accuracy and safety, as officials confirm. Israel has now received all but one of the bodies committed under the ceasefire agreement. The return of the final remaining body is still pending, and negotiations remain active. Israeli authorities say they will continue pursuing closure for all victims of the October 7 attack. The identification of the body handed over in this latest exchange has now been completed. The family has been informed, and arrangements for burial have been finalized. According to the official announcement, the process was conducted in accordance with established procedures and involved coordinated efforts between the Israeli army and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. With this development, Israel moves closer to completing the repatriation commitments negotiated under the October ceasefire. Efforts will continue to secure the return of the final remaining body still believed to be held inside the Gaza Strip.